Live.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? My name's Ethan. I'm here with Matt.
And Ricardo.
What's up, everybody? I'm also here with Matt.
And Ethan.
Oh, what's up? Hey, it's
Not-
Ethan. I'm here with Matt
not so
and
much.
Ricardo. Oh, what?
Oh. I mean,
Uh-oh.
I'm
Wow.
with...
There's tension. I can sense tension here.
Listen, there's no tension. There never was any tension. That's all fake news. Retweet with comment. Dude, whatever you're writing
Listen,
sucks, dude.
I'm promoting the podcast there. This is
Promoting.
fine.
Let the social media guy handle that, Ethan.
I'm promoting on my own personal
He's
brand.
putting it on his own personal brand.
Personal brand.
Which is what exactly? What would you say your brand,
My brand
Ethan?
is
His brand is Expert Play on Twitch.tv.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
Your highlights.
got my highlight reel.
Get your highlight reel.
Yeah. Headshots only.
Mm-hmm. You know, I keep my brand fun and light though, but also like hardcore when it comes to it. You know.
And slightly problematic.
Fun
just slightly.
and light, but hardcore.
That's definitely a channel on.
Are you describing a new gamer kind of
On
beer
X-Hamster.
or something like that? Like, are you describing some new game fuel?
That's
Fun and light, but hardcore.
Let me drink this. Let me get the label right there for you.
Out of the way.
Out of the way.
I'm surprised.
not
with-
in a
I know
shot.
this is going off topic a little bit.
What,
Maybe I shouldn't
us?
take- maybe I
Us
shouldn't
here
take
on
it
this,
there.
No,
on this
let's
pod-
go.
I'm surprised
this
there haven't
podcast?
been more X-Hamster jokes about Hammond, the new hero on Overwatch, being made. Because
You know what?
Overwatch already has their own enough porn stuff going on without the need of a third-party website.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, to be fair, think about it. He's the one who runs all the porn.
Inside that ball,
Yeah.
Hammond?
like from inside that ball, he's
Why do you think?
like,
Why-
Why do you
he's
think?
just like watching? Oh, he's just like
Why do you?
moderating all those videos.
Why didn't they
Was
call
that
it?
him doing something, or was that like his little hamster chipmunk voice?
That sounds either way.
The world may never know. Not from within that ball.
Who knows what goes on in that ball? They call him Wrecking Ball. Apparently, I've never played the.
Yeah.
PCR
The
ball.
That's
robot is
like
called
his
Wrecking
name.
Ball.
It's kinda
The
Yeah,
Oh,
he's Hammond.
I think the robot is like a Wrecking Ball class or something like that. I don't know what the lore reason is, but I think that's something to do with it.
Matt, you don't know the lore of an Overwatch thing. That's why I go to you.
I have not kept up with the new stuff since post Brigitte.
I mean, like
Who's
Reaper's name isn't Reaper.
Yeah,
It's a code name, right?
It's like a code name.
yeah. His name
His
is
name is like
Gabriel.
Reyes, right? Yeah,
Gabriel Reyes.
Gabriel Reyes. So just like
Yeah.
his
McCree's name is also not McCree.
it's
That's
not.
like- that's his cowboy cosplay name. He's like
Oh
an
my
actor
God.
in canon or something like that.
I didn't know that. That makes me like McCree a lot less.
Yeah, he's just
Frankly.
why think he just like a cowboy? They don't have cowboys in the future of this.
Maybe
future
he's from
land. the old
the
West.
West. Maybe he's
Maybe
from.
westerns get like a big. You know, it's been a long time since we had like a western revival. Maybe in the future, that's
Yeah.
where it
Yeah,
comes from. Just going-
McCree's just doing cowboy cosplay. That's his whole.
Why
that's
is
his whole
Genji a
shtick.
ninja? Ninjas don't exist anymore.
They do. Everyone knows that.
Hanzo.
There are yakuza, and they have ninjas that they
Oh my
employ. I
I
don't know.
thought
If that's
Yakuza
actually,
just went to the karaoke bar and just sang. Had vivid,
yeah,
like
that and
imaginations
they-
of their singing.
that and they manage host clubs
That too.
and protect people. That's all. And like only do good things when people ask them for favors. Just help them out. That's just what yakuza do. They run around. They run on the street and a kid has lost a video game, and then yakuza just help them out. That's all they do.
They do, if they're the dragon of Dojima, Kiryu. Senpai.
Kiryu Senpai. Ethan.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess since we're talking about senpais and in Japan, we got to talk about what Ricardo's been playing.
Yeah.
Is this a recent game?
I think it was
I've not heard of it.
2017. I believe.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah. So this week is Anime Expo here in Los Angeles. So
Sure
I've
is.
gotten. When was it from? When was this released? Oh wow, 2015.
2015, yeah.
Initial release.
You
Maybe
lied.
that was the Japanese release. Yeah, because it was originally on PS3. It might have been re-released.
I'll keep reading.
Okay.
In North America. Okay, 2016. All right, so 2 years old. Yeah, so it's Anime Expo here in Los Angeles. I've got
Only the anime experts go
a lot
there.
of anime on the brain. They're actually the same guys who run our that Legend of Zelda Escape game that we played.
yeah.
Are running a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure one during Anime Expo, and I was actually really hoping to maybe do that, but one, I didn't think I could convince enough people to do it, and two, I read into it and apparently need a pass as well as
That's
a
dumb.
ticket to the thing. So it's like you need your
That's
$70 Anime Expo or more Anime Expo badge plus another $40 on top of that for the ticket, and I'm just like that ain't happening.
That Zelda one was really fun, but I feel like calling it an escape room was a little bit disingenuous.
Yeah, I mean they just call it
like puzzle
escape.
challenge or something.
It was
I think
just
they
more
call
like
it escape game
yeah,
to kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
get out of
It
that.
was basically like, here's a bunch of puzzles, but instead of doing them yourself, we're gonna have a big group thing and
Yeah.
a couple actors. It was definitely fun, but it was just
Very fun.
different from what I was
So, yeah.
expecting.
So in lieu of that, I've been watching a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and then I downloaded the demo for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven, which is free right now on PSN. Full game, which only comes in the full bundle with DLC content, is still $60 despite being a 2-year-old game. That kind of spurred me tweeting earlier about man, do you ever just get mad at it, pull up a game, you're like, oh, I'm interested in that game. It's pretty old. I'm sure it's on sale now. Then you pull it up and it's no, it's still
No, we still be charged
$60.
max. We don't care.
And it's just what? Why? If I didn't play you at full price back then, I'm not gonna pay full price now.
Kind of does speak to what we think about the typical game cycle is this game needs to be cheaper now. I'm just gonna wait for it to get cheaper.
Unless you're Nintendo.
Unless you're Nintendo, then it's
rarely.
oh, you have to
It
wait
never
five,
will.
You have to wait 5 years, and
Or
it might
it'll
be
be
like $30.
Yeah.
And even then, and that's not true for most games that Nintendo makes.
Sometimes there's platinum, those platinum type.
Yeah,
games
they'll
that'll
do,
come
the
out,
greatest
sort of
hits.
thing.
But either way,
yeah, every now and then. But oftentimes, I feel if I see a Nintendo game on sale, it's because the retailer put it on sale, not because.
Oh yeah, it's never
Nintendo.
like the eShop.
By the way, this
No.
demo lets you play through the first chapter here. So, Eyes of Heaven is kind of it's published by Bandai Namco. I'm not sure the developer, but it is very similar to a lot of the other kind of shonen series games from that are published by Bandai Namco, in that it is an arena style fighter.
Cyber Connect 2.
Cyber Connect 2 are the
I've
developers.
seen that logo around
They have
They made the Naruto games.
they developed a lot of the Naruto Shippuden games and Ninja Storm. So it's that kind of style of game where you're put in kind of an open arena. The big twist on it is, one, you have a partner. You'll always have a partner, which is AI controlled. And then you also kind of have big flashy duo moves with your partner. So kind of I think similar to that Jump Force game that's being developed right now. And this is basically kind of just a big fan service thing to JoJo fans. It's technically taking into place all the canon that happens, but it's also a multi-generational style crossover of characters running into each other from different time periods and stuff. Because the JoJo timeline is kind of like a single timeline. It's all technically happening at the same time. Not at the same time.
I know nothing about JoJo at all, actually, other than like some of the characters I recognize, and then of course the montage of "Holy shit!"
It has a very distinct art style, that's all I know about.
Yeah,
it.
and
Yeah,
that's
it's
actually
kinda weird and like kind of like I don't know, very very like extremely weirdly chiseled in a weird way. Like everyone looks gaunt as hell.
and everybody
Yes,
does poses. That's kind of like
and
the big thing.
it's very bizarre.
Yes, you
And
could
they go
say
on-
they
and
go
they
on
go
a
on an
bizarre
adventure.
adventure together.
Oh.
So this game, yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is like clearly it was originally a
What is the
PS3
plot?
game. The
Give
plot
us the
Some
overview
of the
plot
plot.
of which
JoJo
of
Bizarre
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my god. Well, the first series.
High level, not not in depth.
Okay.
Oh, this is a challenge you didn't expect.
So the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure follows the lineage of a family called the Joestar family throughout the different generations, and their battles against vampires, against spiritual stand users, and against tyrannical madmen who are looking for pieces of the corpse of Jesus Christ, and a bunch of other stuff. And
Definitely
it
not
follows
what I
this one
expected.
lineage, and every new season, every new series follows a new JoJo. So, like, the first one is Jonathan Joestar. The second one follows Joseph Joestar. The third one follows Jotaro Kujo. And I believe the fourth one, Diamond on his Unbreakable, which is I haven't watched yet.
So you can watch each of them and they don't really matter.
I mean, there is crossover. So, like, Joseph Joestar is the young and the lead of Season 2, whereas in Season 3, he is the old man best known for going, "Oh my god!
Oh, okay.
Holy
That's
shit!"
him.
That's him.
That's
And
him.
in fact, that's one of the things in this game is that his super with Jotaro, his grandson, is he throws out his like stand, which stand is think Persona. In fact, Season 3 Stardust Crusaders is, you can tell like the Persona series got a lot of influence from that because it follows like students and other characters that utilize these stands, which are kind of like representations of their real self, and they all kind of represent different pieces of the like what is it called, like the Hierophant, the Star, the Hermit.
Arcanas.
Yeah, the Arcana.
They're different Arcanas.
The
They're
different
different. They're
Arcanas.
all those are all tarot cards.
Yeah, they're different, like representing different tarot cards. So like everybody has a stand. So like Joseph throws out his stand, which is like this whip with like that's like a bunch of purple vines, and he actually misses, and then when he lands, he goes, oh, it zooms up on his face, and he goes, "Oh my god!" And his grandson's like, "Yada yada does he?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding," and then he pulls like a fucking trick and electrocutes the guy or whatever. And so it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, pretty funny stuff. It looks really cool in terms of like capturing the art style of JoJo, but because it is like originally a PS3 game, you can tell the fidelity is not as sharp as if it was developed for modern consoles. So it was fun what I played of it. Again, right now it's still $60, and apparently a hard copy of it is very, very difficult to find, and like upwards of like $99. So yeah, so it's fun. I almost
Are you gonna buy it?
I don't think I'm gonna bite on it, especially because I recently heard that they're releasing Vermintide 2 on consoles here coming at midway through this month, and that's something that I was actually going to be playing with like friends and stuff, so I think I might just save my money and get it.
Yeah.
And also
Vermintide 2,
Fire Pro's next month too, so
yeah, Vermintide 2 sounded really cool. I'm just kind of hit at a time where I wasn't able to buy it.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, maybe somewhere down the line though will be JoJo time, but for now I'm just gonna continue to absorb the anime and send uncomfortable gifts to my friends who don't understand what's going on.
I understand.
No, I mean the gifts are the best part.
Do it for the memes. That's the philosophy of JoJo. when it was
Don't let-
originally written in like the 1980s.
Don't let memes be dreams.
Indeed.
Well, I didn't play anything. Nothing new. At least I played more Mario Tennis. Cause that game's real good. And there's a new character for Mario Tennis. I guess I could talk about that.
Is it Koopa Troopa?
It's Koopa Troopa.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
He's
this
a new
guy.
character.
Who's he?
Explain
Okay,
Koopa
so,
Troopa, the lore
so
of Koopa
the
Troopa.
the Mario lore. Okay,
Dennis
so
Hopper? Is he coming?
Dennis Hopper wants to transform
Monkey.
humans back into monkeys. He's got this de-evolution gun.
Yeah.
Because see, back in the day, the asteroid came down, and these MS Paint dinosaurs got hit by an asteroid, and it opened up a portal to a different dimension.
Okay.
The dinosaurs went there, and they evolved separately from humans and had their own society. And the humans evolved in the normal world that we live in. And Dennis Hopper is King Koopa.
Can you explain why?
Koopa's cool. Koopa Troopa's cool.
Can you explain why, when he used the de-evolution gun on most humans, they turn into monkeys, but when it was used on, the Princess Toadstool's dad, I guess King's Toadstool, he turned into fungus?
No more questions.
Okay.
Well, it's obvious. He says King Toadstool.
No, because King Toadstool is
A fungus.
evolved. He's from a fungus. He's evolved in that world.
Oh.
He's not human. King
So are you-
Toadstool is from.
So is
the dinosaur world.
Daisy
Yeah,
also
she's supposed to be.
fungus?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's like an evolved form of fungus.
I see.
That's basically a human person.
That's the idea.
I gotcha.
Yeah, you got
Just
it.
like the Goombas.
Yes.
The Goombas are totally super evolved.
Goomba. Also, Luigi Mario.
Ba-bomb.
Yes, Babam, Luigi
Ba-bam.
Mario.
My jumper shoes. All right. So I
Yeah.
played. I guess. Do you want to talk about my game?
Oh, we want to
Pokemon
talk about
Go.
your
I've
game.
played a lot of that.
So have I. You've been
Talk
op-
about-
I think
we're
we just
friends.
reached two stars
Now,
friendship
super friends, and
level.
The friendship update's out. It's great. We're best friends. We got bonuses on fighting now. We can go raid even though we're not, or we can go
Yeah, we're
fight in
never
gyms.
together
We're
to
never
raid.
together.
Maybe in Vegas. Maybe
in
in
Vegas we'll
Evo
take down a
time.
raid.
If we're
Man,
out
I-
if we're out doing something and you two losers are like, we gotta stop, we got everyone stop, we gotta do this raid, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Yeah, we won't do that at all. We will definitely not
No.
do that.
No way, dog.
Why would we do such a thing? Man, that'd be really easy to do some good raids.
Yeah. There's gonna be a ton of people there.
Um,
those-
Justin Wong.
Justin Wong, yeah.
He loves Pokemon.
He loves
Go.
Pokemon Go.
All right. Anyway, besides that, I started up a stream, doing my thing.
Oh,
doing-
classic.
I'm starting the stream. I am attempting to beat all of Overlord, the entire series, not just the one game, every single game in the series, which is 4 games. I think it's Overlord. I was gonna say Bizarre Adventure, Overlord Raising Hell, Overlord 2, and Overlord. Oh God, it's like
Raising Hell?
Well, Raising Hell is the expansion
It's
to
an
the first game.
expansion,
It's not
yeah.
really it's not really its own game. It's just
Codemasters.
yeah, Codemasters. Oh, this is a different site.
This is manga,
anime.
dude.
I typed in it.
This
it came
is
up with a
anime.
bunch of-
See, now it's just an anime stream.
oh,
Talked about
no.
JoJo, so.
There's way more games than I think you think there are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
He looks
Oh,
as he
yeah.
scrolls down just
There's-
the page.
There's
yeah.
there's Raising Hell, which is the expansion. There's Overlord 2. There's Overlord Dark Legend for the Wii.
Ooh, I
And
gotta
there's
find
a-
that game.
Then there's a DS game called Overlord
Overlord
Minions.
Minions.
I don't know how I'm gonna capture that.
Before Minions were Minions, Overlord was Minions.
And Fellowship of Evil was the latest one, I think. That one came out in 2015. Apparently, it's really bad. Like these other ones I heard are okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, I remember
I
when
bet Overlord Minions isn't great.
I remember
bet
when
the
I-
new one isn't good
when
either.
I don't think the new one's not even listed on this website. On this
Yeah,
thing
it's
I'm
Fellowship
seeing.
of Evil is the latest one. Well, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the Wikipedia.
Is it actually made by them?
Codemasters. Yeah.
Technically,
Okay,
no,
okay.
because the first game was developed by Triumph
Oh,
Studios.
Triumph Studios.
But maybe they're bought up, and turned into Codemasters. But
They are.
anyway.
Overlord 2 is also made by Triumph
Rihanna
Studios.
wrote it.
Yep, Rihanna Pratchett.
Rihanna. Just,
Yep.
just Rihanna. Yeah, because I remember when the first Overlord came out, I was actually like way into it, like pre-release, and I was like ready to buy it, and then something happened, and I just never got around to playing it. I remember it had kind of like it had a decent kind of like decent reaction. Like,
Yeah,
not,
I mean, it was
not
pretty
great,
positive. It
but-
wasn't like, oh man, this game is like the greatest thing ever, but it was like, it got pretty good scores. I'm looking at the.
Yeah, and it came
sevens
out at a
and
different
eights.
time when that was not. I feel like
Yeah, and I really liked it when I played it. And that was kind of the reason why I chose it, is the fact that it's like,
you were the
just-
one who told me to play it. In fact,
yeah, because it's pretty
back in the
good. Like,
day,
it's
and
a
I
solid
played
game.
through that. I played through that in 2.
Yeah, you played more than I did actually, but I want to do the series where I go through and beat lots of like every game in a franchise. And I figured I wanted to pick a game with like not for my first one. I pick a game that like not too many people hold dear to their
It doesn't
heart.
have 20 different games in it. Like
And it doesn't
like
have 20 different games in it because I
Later.
feel like that might be more doable if I, got more followers or whatever. But, I want to keep it kind of simple. And I feel like Overlord, if it's like, oh man, no one's going to get mad that I messed up the Overlord, like lore or anything like that. Like, people are still going to enjoy it. But also, it's an interesting game. Like, it's a weird, for those who don't know, it's like a weird kind of Pikmin type game, but you're playing as a bad guy in a fantasy world, like someone who's overlording, and is like gonna retake his bad place as being the bad guy of the kingdom. And so you got all these minions to do your bidding for you, and the minions, they're very simple puzzles, and there's like quests, and you basically like kill sheep to harvest their life force. That you turn them into minions, and then the minions can go out and like pillage things, and as they pillage things, they get armor and they get more powerful. Like it's a weird kind of snapshot of games in that type of era where they're not like
It's basically Pikmin.
yeah, where it's not like it's not like a whole bunch of different open world things all hanging out around. It's like just kind of linear, but still has a couple like it's not like that linear. Like they have quests that come up in orders that you can't do yet. It's a little more Metroidvania style where it's like you need the red minions or you can't access this area yet. That sort of thing. It's it's kind of got a weird. There's no map. It's very simple. It's very much like this is just the game. It's not. I guess it's just pared down. They don't make games like that anymore. There's always like we gotta have the
It's like
multiplayer in
it's-
there. We gotta have the loot box. We gotta have all these
Yeah.
these stages coming up.
It's not an open world RPG where you level up and have
Yeah.
skill trees and take down forts.
Every time I kill
like,
someone big, I have this instinct to be like, I'm gonna get his loot
And
because
the
it
th-
looks like one of those games that like it looks pretty good. Like it's reasonable looking. It looks like one of those like modern games that you can do that sort of stuff. But like, yeah, there's no loot. There's no XP bars everywhere. It's just
It's funny how much sensibilities have changed even in the last like 10 years. Because
Yeah.
this is like what, like a
2007.
2007,
Yeah,
so it's like
this is-
11-year-old game.
Mhm.
And it definitely feels like a game. I know watching you play it. I think my biggest takeaway was that it didn't look very difficult. It seemed like the more like enjoyment you're supposed to get out of it is like the novelty of ordering these guys around and
Yeah.
seeing like how they destroy the
I
environment.
like with
seeing
really
how-
simple puzzles.
And like
Yeah.
the humor, which is like definitely hit or miss sometimes, but like
Yeah,
it's
it's got
it's
that
very, like,
British,
kinda like-
yeah,
it's
'cause
very-
very
lowbrow British humor, I guess.
well, and it's like satirical of like fantasy tropes, right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
the Hobbit dudes are like giant fat monster things,
Yeah.
and everything is flipped upside down because you're the evil overlord and you've got the goblins running
Yeah.
around killing everybody.
but yet the like heroes of the realm or whatever
are like terrible
like
evil
the
people.
real bad guys or whatever.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Makes you think.
Makes you think. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Playing that game again, I think it's just weird seeing how like it has a specific era of game to it, where it's like early Xbox 360 game, where they're not quite into that whole like, hey, we realize we're online, let's connect to it. It's like, nah, we're still kind of like this. We're still concentrating on like single player games because
It's so weird to think, like, because I find myself falling into that trap too of like revisiting old games and realizing they're good games, but then it's like a lot of times that they just don't have that like hook that a lot of modern games have
Yeah.
of like either like always having a carrot like out in front of you or always having like a thing of like, hey, you could share and talk with your friends on here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just like, ugh, why do I not feel motivated to play this anymore? Because there's
Which
no
is funny
thing.
because like the game itself is still probably fun.
Yeah.
It's just there's just
It's
not
just
that same
weird-
motivation.
Yeah, your brain has been trained differently.
It's been rewired, man. I'm just saying, old games, they don't got that rewiring in it. You play the game because it's fun. That's it.
What a concept.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Guys, stop me if you've heard. I've heard this one before. All the villains in Overlord 1 are based off of 7 Deadly Sins.
So that
The-
first one I thought was
was-
gluttony.
Oh,
You got it.
oh shit! Is this Dante's Inferno?
It's Dante's Inferno. This is the original Dante's Inferno.
Dante's Inferno.
I don't know when Dante's Inferno.
I
came
saw
out,
that
but-
Dante's Inferno apparently is coming to backwards compatibility for the Xbox One, but like also not for a little bit. Like
Stop trying to make Dante's Inferno 2 happen. It's not gonna happen.
I just want to play Dante's Inferno 1 again.
You don't even have an Xbox One.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, they
You could borrow one.
remaster it. What's a good pun for a Dante's Inferno remaster? Since that's all the rage is to pun it, like War Mastered and Definitive.
This is
This
the
is
THQ
THQ
games, right? It's the old
Oh,
THQ
I guess
games,
you're
right?
right.
This would just be called the Dante's Inferno
THQ
Definitive Edition.
Nordic should buy it.
Dante's CRISPR.
What?
He's CRISPR. He's CRISPR to look at. And
Dante's-
also it's CRISPR because he's hot in hell.
Okay. Dante's Inferno, well done.
Well done! Exclamation point!
Yes.
Like, well done!
But also, because he's in hell and there's fire.
Yep.
So he being cooked.
Oh wait,
You got
So
it.
this is a long title now. So well done! Exclamation point! Parentheses.
And then all that shit I just
He's
said.
in fire because he's being cooked.
And also,
With
And
dancing emoji.
yeah. The
The
lady
salsa
with the
lady.
fire. Yeah, the lady with the
The
dress.
salsa lady.
Uh,
Infernal Edition or something like that. There
That's
you go.
more realistic.
Dante's Inferno. Satan. Satan is horny. Because that's, I think, what
That
the point of the
mescaline, that'll
game
mess
is.
you up.
Let's come
No,
back
that's,
to that.
that's,
We'll
that's,
workshop that.
that's DMC. Satan is horny. is now.
Man, just bring it back, guys. Just bring back Dante's Inferno. Just do it.
Dante's Paradise. Dante's Paradise.
Do it.
Dante's Divine
Cowards.
Comedy. All right. Well, that's all the games that we've been playing.
Pretty
Also,
quick.
you should really check out that stream. Ethan had a recording of the stream. You should check it out. There's
Every
some good
Monday
moments on
I'm
there.
gonna be streaming there.
You said
There's
every
some good
Monday.
moments.
Now.
I've done
You
it.
could have gotten
Every
out
Monday.
by saying
Every Monday.
Every Monday, you got to be consistent.
Fine, fair enough.
I'm busy on Monday nights. But
I'll be on late. I'll be
good.
probably going from 8 to midnight. So
This last time you went to from 10:30 to midnight or something.
yeah, I got a late start.
The platform champ, Ethan Hawks, will be
I had the laundry.
will be platforming on all the platforms that Overwatch
I had-
has to offer.
You know,
Or Overwatch has to offer.
Overlord.
a lot of
Overlord.
over this topic.
Into Overwatch. Into Firewatch. Into
It's into
Watch
news.
Dogs. Oh, into the news.
Watch Dogs. Into Sleeping Dogs.
Into
Yeah,
What's the second?
now you're
Oh,
stuck.
No, we're stuck. Take a drink.
All right. The news.
The news.
The news. The news. The news.
Summer games done quick. We talked about it last week.
We
I
did.
didn't
It
watch
happened.
any
Just
of it.
wanted to kind of fall.
I watched a lot of
I
it.
didn't watch any of it, but we'll just thought we would touch back into it. They're breaking more records. They raised over $2 million for.
Yeah, it was crazy. They raised like $1 million in the last day.
What is it? Doctors Without Borders? Is that the?
Yeah,
the-
Doctors
the
Without
charity?
Borders
the
is
one
there.
this week. The one this year.
Yeah, and so this Polygon also shows some of the highlight runs here. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 one,
Got some
a
Cuphead,
Cuphead,
some
Celeste.
The Cuphead one's
Borderlands,
pretty great.
Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man's amazing. That one's so good.
I've seen somebody beat Pepsi Man,
Getting over it.
getting over it with Bennett Foddy. Pokemon Yellow, Super Mario Odyssey.
The Pokemon Yellow one is, if it's the one I'm thinking of, Pokemon Yellow.
Go back down to the Pokemon Yellow.
Pokemon Yellow is Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Yellow played with one controller at the same time.
Oh, it says
So-
any percent glitchless, 2 games, 1 controller.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Super Mario Odyssey was also amazing because there wasn't that many glitches in it at all. It was just really amazing Super Mario Odyssey play,
Yeah.
like really fast.
Well, I mean, I
There's
saw.
a couple glitches, but like not very many.
I mean, I saw even like a week into that game, watching people like do like wall jumps with the hat jumps and stuff like that, and doing like really crazy moves in Odyssey, so
Yeah.
I'd be interested in the Cuphead one also.
The Cuphead one's also really good. Just a really awesome speedrun there.
So yeah, cool stuff. I don't actually. I just have never. I follow them on Twitch. I get the notifications when they're on, but I just have never ever watched any of the.
Yeah, I'm also like I enjoy it, but I'm also just kind of like I don't know. I just never sit down and feel like watching speedruns. Like they're cool and I really appreciate them.
Here's
but, like,
I watch them very occasionally. I don't really follow a lot of these runners like during the year, but Games Done Quick is like such a great like way to collaborate and have all of them at once and with some usually pretty entertaining commentary.
Mhm.
Whereas like when you follow their Twitch channel, a lot of them are just like hanging out. So if they're by themselves, they might not be talking that much. It's
Right.
not necessarily. It's more like in engaging with the chat there, but like. Games Done Quick is nice because it's like this big event that is like more interesting. The Mario Odyssey is a really great crew of co-commentators that are doing it with him. The Cuphead one also has a pretty good crew. The Pepsi Man one has an amazing queue. That one was like done at like 2 a.m. as well, so it was
jeez.
just
I mean,
like
that's the proper time to do Pepsi Man.
Yeah, they like passed out Pepsis to everyone in the audience, so everyone has these bottles of Pepsis
That's
that they're
pretty
holding
good.
up.
It's
And,
really
like, as,
morning.
Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
And we probably actually already brought up this question before, but if you
Yeah.
guys were to do a speed run of a game, a confident speed run of a game, what do you think? What game would you do?
Ethan would do Overlord.
No.
He knows how to beat the bosses now.
Yeah.
And the thing is like I would pick a game I'm comfortable with, but that problem is I feel like that's a game that everyone's like really good at. So I'd want to do something kind of like niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd probably do Mario 64, but like I want something that's like everyone does Mario 64.
Mhm.
You know, I would pick something weird like I don't know. Like I don't even know.
Matt, do you have any idea what you'd do?
I'm not good at video games, so like not good at. I'm not.
I mean, it's not. You know, be good. Like, what is a game that you think you could beat in a day, and then
Oh
try to,
well, I
like,
can beat a lot of games in a day. I mean,
there
I
you
saw
go.
I saw a pretty good Banjo Tooie run.
That'd be a good one.
And I bet I could do Banjo Tooie. There you go.
Okay,
I like that game a lot. That's an old game. It's probably got a pretty big running group, but
And the thing is like I beat a game once and I'm like, all right, see ya. BioShock maybe. I feel like most people don't run BioShock, but I feel like that could be an interesting speed run. Being narrative heavy.
yeah, and it's cool what they're doing. Like, Games Done Quick is another cool way to see like stuff that like even stuff that you have seen or that has a huge community. Like for instance, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, right? Has like a bajillion people speedrunning that. That game's like so broken, wide open. But they played Ocarina of Time bingo. Is what they did. So they just like drew a card. They like hit a generator that creates a grid of a 5x5 list of things to do in the game, and then he just he creates a row or a column or a diagonal, and then that's it. That's the speed run. So
pretty cool.
the
That's
one
pretty
he
cool.
had was like get 7 compasses, kill all the Skulltulas in Kokiri Forest, like get the boss key from the Fire Temple, you know, like stuff like that. And it was just like, and then it's just and that was like in the card. So he just completed one row, but they often do races and things like that with that. There was a Mario Maker race, which is great, which is a 3v3 race where they had levels that were picked out, especially for the SDGQ, and the runners had not seen them. So it was just them playing live, like having to figure out these incredibly hard levels just really fast. And there was some cool stuff there. Yeah, even games that you would think have like so established, they have fun twists on them, and they're pretty good about not bringing back a game that's been on previous years unless there's like a good
like
yeah,
twist on it.
Yeah, if it's the same thing as last year, they don't really want it usually.
Makes sense.
Tony Hawk's Underground. That'd be mine.
Dang it. That would,
I think I could beat Tony Hawk's Underground in like a couple hours.
you know,
No
I
problem.
forgot about that game. Yeah, I played that game a lot.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that
But then
game.
you beat me at it, so now I feel like you should take that, not me.
It's true. That's how it works. You know,
Yep, that's
you-
it.
you
You
better
head to
at it.
head.
You can't run it, Ethan. No,
Oh,
only one person's allowed to run a game at a time
Speedrun
ever.
Tetris game.
I mean, they do that.
Get
they
to
did that.
what line? Like to a line and endless?
Something
Like,
like that, yeah. I don't know how that would work. I
They,
think they do that sort
they,
of thing. But
they did that last year. They had like a big race for it. It was like this like Tetris competition level game that was like at arcades in Japan or something like that.
that'd be pretty cool. Tetris DS is a good one. It's a
That's
good
cool.
version of Tetris.
that's probably one of the best ones. Yeah.
What else we got on here?
Speaking of charity,
Oh, I mean, this is just a little footnote I decided to add. Didn't realize that we
it
had
has
more
nothing to do with
news,
video
so-
games really at all. But
So the Fallout 76 is coming and released that great trailer that everybody likes, and by great I mean it was whatever.
it's so great. They had to play it 5 times.
Yes. They and on there they had a version of "Take Me Home, Country Roads," but it
Never
was
heard
not
of
the
it.
John Denver version. It was a cover of that song.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
But yeah, because I actually was like, after I heard it, I was like, man, that's a good song. And then I listened to the John Denver version. I was like, it's not this version. I wonder what version it was. And I was like, I couldn't find
Oh, well now it's
it.
available.
But now it is literally available with proceeds to the sale of this song going towards Habitat for Humanity.
So one thing I gotta say is the fact that they did a cover that was almost, on first glance, like indistinguishable from the original until you actually really listen to it. Is that better or worse than the slow versions that they make? Like, would you rather have like a cover that's really?
I would
close?
rather have a cover that's more faithful than the.
But then what's the point of a cover?
Just have a different song.
As opposed to like, but where would you want a really different song? Like, it just seems like more like it's not paying proper homage to the actual song that's being played.
I don't know. I just a lot of times I'm like, I mean, I definitely again like I actually went looking for this version of the song as
Sure.
opposed to a lot of the more cringy like slow versions
Yeah.
of the songs that will go online. And I might actually pick it up. How much is it? Say on
It's
here?
$1.
$1.
And it goes to Habitat for Humanity, which
Yep.
was founded in 1976, which is 76.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got it.
Somebody has a marketing department.
Yep, they do. Sure do.
Bethesda.
Bethesda definitely has one.
Speaking of marketing, no, this is
They've also got lawyers.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Which,
who doesn't have lawyers anymore? Except they do.
The French.
But I don't know what I'm saying.
Wait.
No, this wasn't added on here, but I guess the PUBG Corp dropped their lawsuit
Oh, yeah.
against Fortnite.
Yes.
They're just like, oh, fuck it.
They're like,
They didn't have good. They had shaky ground.
we're like, oh, this is
Did you
bad.
guys hear about that Westworld one?
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah, Bethesda. That's, what I'm saying,
that- is that
that's
on
why I
here?
brought lawyers.
But
Bethesda, no, it's not
no,
on here.
it's not. I think it was like in a weird
Bethesda has
limbo
lawyers.
period of.
But that Bethesda one, I was like, oh, this. They don't have a case because it's like gameplay. They could just make Fallout Shelter again. Apparently, it was like
It was code. It
No,
was
that was
literally
actually
code.
taken.
And the studio that worked on that made the Westworld game worked on Fallout Shelter too.
And
so
there's even the same
it's
glitch in the
like-
same.
Yes.
That was in
Same
there.
That's what
bug.
everybody was joking about. They're like, but their stuff figured out it was their game because of a glitch. Isn't that funny? Because their games have glitches, you know.
That's
No,
not,
it's-
that's not the
except for the fact that the bug was fixed in the final version.
I know,
of-
but the thing
Fallout
is
Shelter.
Bethesda's like,
we make bugs.
they make bugs. Get it?
Sure.
Have
They
you
do
ever
bugs.
played a Bethesda game, guys? Come on.
Yeah, they do have a lot of bugs,
They're flawless.
except for Doom.
10 out of 10.
You're right, but
That's not Bethesda game.
that's a
not
different
Bethesda game.
team.
That's true.
That's id. That's not Bethesda.
That's true. You're right.
It's not Bethesda Game Studios. Published by.
Oh.
Starfield
All right.
by
Starfield
Jim
has
ZeniMax.
tons of bugs. People
By Jim
dropping
Davis.
stars.
Uh,
All right, what's
so
this loot box game?
what's this loot box game? Every
This is a with
game.
loot boxes.
This loot box game is that life, man. I'm in that loot box life, you know. Just trying to hustle, just trying to make.
Every
just
time
trying
you
to make
open the
a buck.
mailbox, it's like, what did I get?
What I get?
Bill
Oh no!
shit.
Oh no!
Why did I open this? I'm never opening another loot box again.
Oh man, what's in this mailbox?
BRBs.
Oh,
French. The French have decided they disagree with the Belgians, and I think the Dutch in that loot boxes are not gambling according to their authority on the
Oh,
matter.
No.
However, they did say that there's a lot of problems with it. They're all like, this is really bad. They should stop making games like this.
I
But they
kind
did
of
not
agree
say it
it's
was
not gambling,
gambling.
but I definitely think there are a lot of problems with it.
I agree it's not gambling. I also agree that it's extremely exploitative
Yeah.
and plays into a lot of the things that make up like that.
The
that,
gambling,
a lot of the,
it's gambling
a lot of the
adjacent.
gambling addictions and
Yeah.
things like that. A lot of things to make people gamble more. Yes,
It's true.
So,
I get it, and you know, I wonder if
Um,
is that gonna do anything? Because I know, is that gonna like affect anything, or is it
I
just gonna be
mean,
like,
well, I think it's kind of this one's not nearly as important because Belgium and Netherlands have already declared it was gambling. The EU is investigating it, and speaking of which, most of the game companies have already gone like, well, no loot boxes. Like EA's
Yeah,
whole press conference
it's
this
like
year was like.
GDPR. It's like it trickles down to everyone else that you know. it's
EA's
just like,
whole
eh.
press conference this year was like, and we're not having loot boxes in Battlefield. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you were the guys that did have the loot boxes.
Do you
in
want
there.
wall running? No.
No.
Do you want loot boxes? No.
Yeah, I liked what Rami said on the Giant Bomb E3 streams. Rami is I'm always mispronouncing his last name. Ismail. I'm terrible. Yeah, he was like, I like how that happened, and all the game companies were like, yo guys, the loot boxes you're developing, cut those
that out,
cut those
cut
out.
that
Cut those out. Tell PR to issue a statement. We would never do that. We would never make loot boxes and take them out of the game.
Oh, yeah. You know they're gonna do it
like,
until someone marks it down.
yeah,
That's bad
like
press.
you can tell, like all of them were about to do it. Just EA was the one that got nailed for it the most. Like,
Oh yeah.
Blizzard still has loot boxes in their games.
Yeah. But they get off on the whole like it's cosmetics, so it's fine.
Yeah, I still think loot boxes should go even for cosmetic items. I've turned around so far on the whole thing. Like, just sell your cosmetic items. Just sell them.
Make as much money.
Or like make it an in-game progression.
I just think it's funny that like I know Heroes of the Storm like completely switched from doing the thing where you could just buy cosmetic items to well actually you still can. You can still buy cosmetic items, but you can also get them in a loot box. Like, they
Yeah,
completely redid everything and put loot boxes in it, which is weird to me.
I'm really hating loot boxes. So
Don't worry, everyone
They
else,
should
even
take 'em out.
publishers, will too, unless they're free to play.
but Overwatch is not free to play, and it also
Oh, I
asks
know.
you to pay for loot boxes. So not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, that's true.
So Fortnite, back in the news.
Speaking of games
As
with no
usual.
loot boxes, despite being
They
free to
do
play.
these weird season things
Yeah.
that I don't really know how. I don't know how Fortnite works.
So Fortnite, the map is always changing. There's always crazy stuff going on. So most recently, there was a missile launch going on, and a lot of players were entering maps and kind of passively watching the missile launch together, like in kind of an gentleman's agreement of nobody was gonna fuck with each other while they watched this
Right.
missile launch, except one player named Elemental Ray seized his opportunity to snag the record for all-time
Most
solo
kills.
kills. And this is also Elemental Ray. Somebody here notes that at the time that he did this, his kill death ratio was 0.47. so he's not very good at the game. But he used this opportunity to get 48 kills by destroying a huge platform ramp that a bunch of players were using to watch the rocket launch go off. So some people are hailing him a hero, others a villain.
A villain.
But the point still stands that he sits atop that leaderboard for solo
And for a
kills.
while, probably, unless somebody goes in there and sets up a situation to let everybody
Yeah.
kill them.
And this-
Sorry, I might
the
just
thing
quick
is,
watch the video.
the
and
thing
it's-
is it's
I'm looking at the video too, just like I want to see what.
oh, it's so good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say the thing is that they noted on here that Elemental Ray actually dies shortly after this himself, as he
yeah, well, it doesn't sound like he's a very good player.
as
overall.
his ramp also falls and he falls to his death, but he still managed to do it.
I think
take
it's great. I don't know why you criticize.
Yeah,
this. Like, this is what they expected.
naturally I look in the comments to see what people are doing, and some people are like, "Man, how could he do such a thing like this? People were just people were just trying to watch this thing and blah 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 and stuff." And I'm just like,
Welcome to the internet.
man, It's
just
it's
a
a
game.
live
like-
match. It's a live match. He saw his just watching all these players just fall
Wait, I need to get to the part.
simultaneously and die.
I get a time code for all viewers out there. At this video's in Polygon. It's at about 5-minute time mark.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm right there. I'm already there.
It's very good. I think this is just one of those things where it's like it's a public match. Like if you wanted to do this, I don't know if you could go in private match to view it. I don't know.
I don't
But,
think
like,
they
How did they organize this? How did they get everybody in a public match to not
maybe
kill each other?
Reddit. I don't know.
It could have been Reddit, or it could have been just people just mutually coming together.
Understanding that hey, this thing's
So
gonna happen in the
great.
game.
I just love that. I love that he has the highest.
And then the chat freaking out. The chat freaking out is great.
Good. All right. Enough of that. Let's talk about something that'll get Matt freaking out.
I love freaking out.
Matt, Ghost of Tsushima.
This is a dumb interview.
We're interviewing you, Matt. We're not. This is serious.
This is a dumb interview, and I know this interview that I link the article that I posted is dumb. Chris Zimmerman from Sucker Punch was interviewed by Peter Brown from GameSpot about Ghost of Tsushima, and talking about the game's historicalness and therefore and listen, lots of video games aren't very historical.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. It's the dumb. What makes it worse is not that I expected Ghost of Tsushima to be super realistic.
Yeah.
Although it did look like it was going.
It looked
for a
like it was
decently
pulling more
historical-
from actual historical stuff and like
Yeah, it specifically said no supernatural stuff. They announced that fact of it. There's not going to be any weird supernatural things in it, and they said it in a certain time period that actually was a real. It's a real island for one, and it's a real time period during Japanese history. Yeah, and then.
So
and then.
I haven't read this interview yet.
So basically, it's a pretty standard question, and you just ask them what's the balance between historical accuracy in Ghost of Tsushima, and the answer is like this. His first line is, the way I think about it is, we're going to deviate from historical truth. We just want to do it intentionally. And then he goes on to talk about how they have consultants and friends in Sony Japan that are helping them with it and things like that. If we're putting birds in the game, we want to make sure they're Japanese birds. Our sound design guy went to Japan and captured real sounds. And then they just help us out if we make mistakes. And if we write this line of dialogue, they say Japanese person wouldn't say that. And we write a different line of dialogue. And then they go over and then just but then samurai just don't look cool in the 13th century. So we're just gonna put in the samurai from the 1700s in the 1600s in the game. And that's so all the designs for samurai are based off of Warring States period or Edo period Japan, where as opposed to this is set in the 12th century or the 13th century, I think, so the 1200s, which is the Kamakura era, where samurais were very different, if not even close to the same kind of armor and design, let alone the way they fought and how the infrastructure of the soldiers and the military and all that kind of stuff worked. So it's just like the classic game design thing of bragging about how realistic and historical your game is, and then immediately undercutting that with yeah, but then it wasn't cool to do the thing, so we're just gonna go ahead and
Why don't they just set it a little later then?
It's yeah, there's so many things. Why go to the trouble of making it historical?
I was gonna say, or make it the whole thing with we wanted to be accurate to Japanese wildlife, and so birds were not why that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do one and not the other? Or why would you do this thing that is going to go unnoticed by 90% and
so
in favor of this other thing?
Here's the description. Most people's idea is really based on an idea of samurai, which is 16th, 17th, and 18th century idea of samurai. 13th century historically is pretty different. In terms of how they fought, what they wore, it doesn't match your expectations. So we're not sticking exactly to the truth of Kamakura-era samurai. It's going to be a little different. The armor you see him wear is not 13th century armor. It's more Warring States period armor. Because honestly, the 13th century armor is pretty jarring looking. It's not what you'd expect. It's really boxy. It doesn't look aspirational. We want to make sure we give you what your fantasy of being a wandering samurai
but
is
see,
like.
That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Well, I mean, I guess.
What? Go ahead.
It's classic video game thing. It's
Yeah.
not just this game.
No, I
like
know.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey does the same exact thing of like, that's taking place during the
Well, Assassin's Creed's always done that, where they just.
it is, which is why I don't even bother to complain about it anymore. But like, it takes place during the Greek states period where, and I'm so annoyed that I can never remember the name of this war, because I always want to say Polynesian War, but it's not Polynesian.
Polytopian?
Peloponnesian? It might be Peloponnesian. It's the war, but it's basically the Sparta and its allies versus Athens and its allies is the war that it is, and that's what they showed in the demo when they showed off Assassin's Creed Odyssey in the video thing, where that big fight happened at the end. Is like that's like you can earn rep with one faction or the other, and then like once you've done enough things in the area, trigger a big fight, and everyone's just fighting solo with each other. It's like that's not how Greeks fought. Greeks didn't fight like with swords in this like arena style like gladiator match. It was like
that makes a little more sense,
boring.
like, as far as like we're gonna change this for gameplay sort of thing. But
Sure,
like,
yeah,
but,
I
like,
guess.
But the thing about Ghost of Tsushima is kind of weird. Is just like, well, if you want to have that side of like combat and stuff, why don't you just set it a little bit later?
Yeah,
And
or
then point everything around it. Like at least with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I can be like, okay, well that's just a style of fighting, whatever, that's fine. It's not like, hey, we're changing their armor, we're changing like the combat, we're changing all this stuff to be in the future, kind of, which is I think
Peloponnesian War. Peloponnesian War. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay comments and says it's the Peloponnesian War, which is the correct name. Thank you very much. Yeah, for some reason my brain wants to say Polynesian War, and I know it's not that, but that's just what
It's like, away.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can ever think of. I'm like, no, that's not right. It's not Tonga time. Yeah, so that's what gets me mad. It's just like it's the dumb cherry picking of like, listen, Neo took place during the Warring States period. It's not realistic at all. It has like demons and all sorts of dumb stuff in it, but they're just fine. Just lean into it. Like just have it be dumb. Like
I can understand though. Like it's a tough balance because always you have a game like was that the Deliverance, Kingdom Come or something like that? Is that
Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Whatever.
Yeah, they're like, it's realistic because there's no black people.
Well, that wasn't exactly why, but that was one of the reasons.
They like specific.
No, I know. I gave us problems I don't want to get into, but like, you know, it's like you have a health meter, you have like eating and like all this other stuff that's like, or you have to eat and go to the bathroom and all these different things to make it like realistic. So it's like, it's weird having that whole like cherry picking because at some point you do have to sacrifice the game in sort of fun, you know, and it's like, is this game fun to play? I don't know. It's not.
I definitely agree. You got to make it. You know, it's like a movie. You know what I mean? You're never gonna get it 100% accurate. There's definitely a danger of saying like, well, this is inaccurate, therefore it's not.
And
good.
I also think that's something that's
for sure.
Like movies. Like if you get a big budget movie, it's more than likely going to be inaccurate. While you get like kind of like those smaller indie type films, they're going to work really hard to kind of like portray that what it would be like realistically, but it would definitely reach a much smaller audience, which you can't really do with this, you know, game with this high fidelity.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying, like on principle. Like, there's no way you're gonna make 100% realistic or historical. That's a stupid thing to aim for. I think realism and historical accuracy are different too.
That's true.
To be clear,
That's
like.
True.
Like just saying like, oh, you have a health meter in a video game. Well, duh, you have a health meter. It's gonna happen. That's not realistic, but that's different from just something being accurate or accurate feeling. I think like I reject the idea that something is only cool if it's what the user expects it to be. I guess is what the like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that like, oh well, we want to make everything realistic, but then we went and looked at pictures of the samurai from this time period, and they're not cool looking. So
I mean, that's one of the few interesting things.
You can make things cool looking. You know what I mean? You can figure like that's like sell us a period that's not shown much. You know what I mean? Why show us the thing that we've seen a million times?
That's something that's been talked about a lot, and like even other types of pop culture media, like Westworld, for example, is just like, oh yeah, no, people didn't look, or you know, Native Americans didn't look like this, but we're gonna make them look like this because that's what other people think they're gonna be. That's what the park people are thinking. Same with like Jurassic Park. It's like, oh, these dinosaurs didn't look like this, but we're making them this way because this is what people think they look like. You know, when they expect this.
People want teeth. They want more colors.
Yeah.
They want. Crazy stuff.
it just feels oddly cynical that doesn't mesh with the other stuff of like we sent a guy to Japan to capture the real audio of the real birds, and we went and made sure that all our consultants said that this.
Well, I mean, the birds aren't going to change.
But
know?
no, but the thing, but yeah, I mean, but the thing is like, and like you said, it's like, but you didn't take that as a unique opportunity as like a developer to be like introduce this era of like samurai to a wider audience and like make it look cool or make it seem cool or even introduce like the difficulties of like, man, our armor sure was shitty.
Yeah, like that could have been an interesting gameplay mechanic kind of thing where it's like
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, like,
and then maybe at the end, even if it's a dumb gameplay thing, you get like new armor that's like modern samurai or more late period samurai armor. That could have been
Japanese Leonardo da Vinci makes you cool samurai armor.
He goes, "It's a me, Splinter." And he's a giant rat, and all of a sudden you're a turtle, and just wow, the game just totally changes.
Oh shit!
Keep our game silly. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a dumb thing to get mad about in a video game because it happens all the time. But it's
just valid criticism.
It's just like
I just understand why it happens as well.
I get it. It's just like I admire something that's showing something from a different time period. It's like the first Assassin's Creed game is still my favorite, even though I know it's not the best one by far. It's just because it's like how many games took place during the Crusades? Very few. It's a very different time period.
Well,
something else. It's not very accurate. I wouldn't say that either. But like the Hashashin were real people. The Templars were real people. Like it's cool to like start with a base, even if it doesn't go into realism or historical accuracy 100%. It's just like need to see stuff from a different time period than what people expect.
Well, honestly, that's in a different way. That's why I like 2 and Brotherhood too, because it's it's the Renaissance.
It's Italy,
which is not a setting you see a lot during.
I feel that way more.
I would say
a lot of Assassin's Creed.
I'll be fair. The Law Assassin's.
I feel like until Black Flag.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Black Flag, yeah, but even then, like, Victorian England, is still, like, that's done a couple times in games, so not all that much.
What are you talking about, like Syndicate?
Yeah, I'm talking about Syndicate.
I mean,
the French
Revolution
and
the American Revolution, too, is kind of, I don't know, I guess you're right.
It's like, most of them aren't, like, except for Black Flag, literally, just because it's pirates.
Because it's pirates, yeah.
And
again, that's less like, oh, this is a period you're familiar with, and more of, like, everybody just knows pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, there was a lot of stuff I'm like, I didn't know that was like the actual political climate then. Maybe it's just I just don't know enough about history, and that makes it easy to enjoy these things.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Like really deep dives.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. You don't know a lot of things. Do you know pirates stole stuff?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
In that same vein, I was listening to the Bombcast this week, and Brad didn't get the pun in Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. He didn't understand the pun of Billy Hatcher.
His name is Hatcher.
And the giant egg, and he's like dressed like a chicken, Billy Hatcher. And I'm just like, man, what?
Very so often, I feel like any person, this isn't like a thing on anyone's character, but there's always like one little tiny like part of the brain that like everyone else's connects. And then theirs is just like not.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I've had one of those recently.
We've all had that where it's like, I don't get it. And everyone else does. It's like, what? I can't connect that sort of thing.
Death Stranding.
What?
It's Stranding.
There's a baby.
Yeah.
In his belly.
You psychopath. Oh, wait, no, that's not. He's not.
Anyway, that's my rant. That's my rant.
What I do want to know, Matt, before I let you go on this topic, I want to know, besides Assassin's Creed, is there any other games you think that have done accuracy pretty well?
The Total War games are decent. They're obviously doing a way different kind of game. They're all like strategy games, so that's obviously a little bit more
easy to do, kind of.
It's you're not like relying on an individual character and like the story narrative to like have to place things in a certain way. But they've done a decent job. Not even 100% of that. Like for instance, the original Rome Total War has the Egyptians riding around in like chariots with like and having like scythes as their weapons, whereas like at that time period in history, the Egyptians were basically Greeks and they were fighting in very Greek styles, so they were not using those kind of like ancient Egyptian style,
Right.
like thatched armor and that kind of stuff. But yeah, but for the most part, the Total War games have been pretty good. Warhammer Total War is very realistic to that time period.
Warhammer, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's exactly how it was.
the way the orcs fight, and the way the dwarves do the underground, like
They definitely
tunneling.
studied a lot of the other games that have done it pretty well.
I mean, it's just not a whole lot of historical games, to be fair, as well. Like, there's
Yeah,
not a
and
lot
most
that
of them are like, World War II if they are, if they're historical.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
it's like, okay, we know.
Call
these
of
are
Duty
probably-
Black Ops that showed the truth of the Kennedy assassination
Yeah.
that no one else wants to tell. So that's pretty
It's true.
important.
How
yeah, I
they
actually
killed
Medal of Honor
killed
Airborne.
Castro, but it was a decoy. That happened all the time.
Yeah. So I guess the thing for me is just that, like, yeah, I feel like the bummer is I feel like a lot of games and a lot of movies feel the need to like spice up the history because like, oh, it's not cool
'Cause it
enough, or it's
doesn't
like
look cool.
it's not interesting. But I feel like that is a at worst lazy thing to do, and at best you are short selling yourself as a writer or designer or what have you, and saying like, well, can't do it. It's not possible to make this cool. Gonna have to like go
Add
back
some
to the
stuff
whatever
in.
everyone thinks they're of because that's just the
Yeah,
default.
We can't make this
like,
dialogue interesting enough. So
Yeah.
here is this other thing that didn't happen.
yeah. So like I feel like I would genuinely love a game that's set in like a Roman time period, for instance, where you play as like a Roman foot soldier, because like they had that Rise
Rise,
game.
yeah.
Remember that? That's not historically
Rise, son of
accurate
Rome.
at
You're telling me
all.
You're telling me Shadows of Rome from Capcom was
know what? I
not
haven't
an
played it.
accurate
I
was
ha-
not
I
an
haven't played
accurate depiction of
I
the
haven't
assassination of Caesar?
I haven't played it, so I don't actually know. I can't tell you.
It's always funny how like video games always have like they're like, oh, even if it's like one of the things about like building a world, like how
Rise is hilarious because of how lazy it is.
Like-
Sorry to interrupt, but like
No,
that
that's
one is like they didn't even try. Like the barbarians, the Gauls in that game are wearing like
Germanic
like
tribes.
they're wearing like no shirts and just like a loincloth. It's like almost
Yeah.
if
That's
those
just
people
sexy,
groups were still around, it's just like
I was gonna say that the
almost
in,
racist levels of
in Shadow of Rome, like one of the first bosses, like this Germanic tribe chief, and he's wearing like a fucking like a bear skin like cloak, and he's got like a helmet with big horns on it and stuff. But this is a Japanese developer doing Roman history about the Germanic tribes of that time. So
I mean,
The funny thing is that the Germanic and Celtic tribes wore pants. That was why the Romans thought they were
pants.
the Romans thought they were uncivilized because they wore pants, where the Romans wore togas. The Romans didn't have like trousers. So like they was like, oh, you're covering your whole
This
leg.
covers the entirety of the leg.
and it's much harder to make. Yeah, that's weird. What's kind of funny is that like
How
For
will
Honor
your-
actually
How will your genitalia just flap about in those pants? It can't.
must be really
Does-
moist down there.
Yes.
Swamp.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, For
Honor,
Honor-
I think it's an interesting thing because it's like it's.
Yeah, the Vikings did fight the ninjas exactly like
I know,
that.
but like besides that part, obviously, like it's cool how they could just be like, oh no, we'll just figure out these sort of like things that are like.
Do any Vikings have horns?
They
in that
literally.
one?
Yeah, you can have like.
Then no.
You can
Then
have-
automatic.
You know what?
Yeah,
You're right.
horns.
All the cosmetics, never mind.
They
Forget
pretty
my
much
argument.
just say like what's cool,
Yeah,
what are
which
cool
is fine
tropes.
because that game
That
is
game's
going for
not
that. You
trying to be that
know?
way anyway. All right. Well,
Yeah.
enough of this. I've lost.
I've hijacked the podcast successfully. I return it to you without crashing it.
So let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, gotta
my
go.
favorite.
He
Fate.
definitely looks like a real hedgehog.
Yeah, historically accurate
How-
hedgehog depiction.
How many humans will he kiss in this movie?
James Marsden.
He's gonna kiss. He's gonna kiss him.
Yes, hopefully. I mean, that's what my fiction says. So this Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I believe is a mixture of CGI and live action, that's somehow still coming out, has already cast James Marsden, this is according to Polygon, and Tika Sumpter in undisclosed roles, but the role that they are talking about is that they are currently negotiating with
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey to play one Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. In what is sure to be his return to form role here in Hollywood. Thoughts, gentlemen, about Jim Smokin' Carrey, Jim Ace Ventura Carrey?
He's an anti-vaxxer.
To be,
Is he?
he's definitely said so at some point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he
I
was.
thought it was just
Well, he
because
was with.
dating
Well, he
someone.
was with Jenny.
He was
He was
with
with
Jenny
Jenny
McCarthy.
McCarthy, so
Jenny
he
McCarthy.
kind of had to buy into a lot of that stuff at the time. I feel like. Also, Jim Carrey, just a little. Jim Carrey is woke now. Don't you know?
Is he? Oh, yeah.
What? In what way? He's anti-vax still. If
he's
he's anti-vax still.
Yeah, you can't be that woke.
He's completely transcended this plane of sanity and is now in another plane. Haven't you seen those things with those interviews like where they're like, "Hey, are you happy to be here, Jim, to celebrate icons?" And he's like, "I don't know, what even is an icon? All this other shit. I'm fucking crazy now."
Yeah. No, it would be now. He's always been real weird. He just like didn't necessarily go off the deep end all the way, I guess. But I feel like he's always been a weird dude. He's always been so weird.
He just has a MySpace.
He has a MySpace. I'm on his MySpace page right now. Look, man, Jim Carrey's fine. He's whatever to me.
James Carrey. What's your favorite Jim Carrey movie?
Oh,
Truman Show.
Truman Show. Yeah.
That's
a
actually
lame-
one of the only ones
That's a lame
that
answer,
I
but
like
that's one of
him
the only
in.
ones I really, really like.
Liar, liar.
Liar's good. That's not bad.
I've never seen it.
It's good. I think Mike
Um,
was just we were just talking about it last time. I
Isn't
was
he also
here.
in Eternal
Mike
Sunshine?
doesn't like
of
it.
the Spotless
He
Mind?
is in Eternal Sunshine.
I haven't seen that
He
one.
I
is
haven't seen it either, but I
also
heard it's good.
in Man on the Moon. He is also in
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. He's in A Series of Unfortunate Events, the movie, before that show came out
boy,
that people
was
liked.
Not great.
I thought the movie was fine.
I
like,
thought it was
eh.
whatever.
Yes, man. I remember
The-
that.
The
Yes.
Oh,
problem
Mrs.
I have-
Popper's Penguins.
Mr.
Yeah.
problem
Popper's
I-
Penguins.
The problem I have with Jim Carrey is that he just plays Jim Carrey every
Dumb and
almost
Dumber
every movie.
Dumb
Why
and
I like
Dumber
Truman Show.
might actually be number one.
Dumb and Dumber is also a movie that I don't think is that great.
I love
that
Dumb and
Did
Dumber.
all right.
I
Big
watched
gulp,
like way
son.
after the fact and was like,
Yeah,
Well,
I
see
do
you
too.
later. See, I didn't like Dumb and Dumber when I was a kid, mostly because my mom didn't like it.
Like, I
I'm
like
not
what my mom
surprised.
likes.
Well, no, it's like because like I think we were like watching it in theaters, and my mom got like really freaked out at different parts and like tried to cover my eyes, and so I was just like, I don't like this movie
My mom is
because
making
like
me
my
scared.
mom's making me scared about things happening in the movie. And then when I watched it later, I was like, man, this movie's really fucking funny.
There are moments.
It's the Farrelly brothers, so they have a very specific brand of humor that is not, which
Bad.
is very
Oh.
hit and miss. I think it had the most hits in There's Something About Mary, and probably the most misses in Stuck on You,
Oh God.
maybe,
Sweet
Oof.
or maybe Hall Pass.
Let's back up a little bit because we've been talking about Jim Carrey as a person, an actor.
Yes.
Like specifically regarding to this, could he do Eggman? I feel like that's not how I see
what
Eggman
is-
at all.
I mean, what is Eggman?
What is an Eggman? When
Who
you
is
like,
Eggman?
examine-
At his
examine the
core, who
character-
is
I mean,
Dr. Ivo
he,
Robotnik?
he did a pretty good Riddler.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
That's, a
That's like
terrible
his
Riddler.
least like transformative
I
role.
enjoyed
That's
it though.
like the worst Riddler.
I enjoyed it. You know.
That's fine, but it's bad. You can like bad things.
No,
it's
that's
okay.
fine
I
if you
liked
like.
it.
No, that's fine if you like it. I kind of like it too, but he's just playing Jim Carrey.
That's fine
Yeah.
then. I feel like
I mean, that's like me
that's what I'm
being
saying.
like, I liked Will Smith as Deadshot, but he was literally just playing Will Smith.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But that means he'll probably be okay as Dr. Robotnik because I feel like I've both kind of like
The
"Emo
Grinch.
geniuses.
Oh,
Will he do
no.
a Grinch
Oh,
type?
The Grinch.
The
No.
Grinch type situation. What is the
Grinch is
accent he'll put
so
on? Will he
bad.
do a Russian accent for Eggman? What will
no,
he
because
do?
Robot doesn't have a Russian accent.
I think in one of the iterations he did.
No, he probably
Not
won't.
in any recent one. Not since
But
Sonic
like
Adventure.
the Jaleel White one, Maybe.
Yeah, whatever. That was ages ago. It's
That's
not-
the one I grew up with.
That's not the one that is real.
Yeah, there's so many.
What
there's
is
so many,
real Sonic canon?
No, there's so many new like
His-
Sonic Hedgehog iterations. He probably.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
the
think
real one is like what's current, like which is what they're gonna be basing it off
It's
of.
just like, hey,
Sonic,
Sonic.
Sonic Rush? No, Sonic.
XD.
No, the one the
Sonic
Boom.
Hyperfast. Sonic
the-
on
the-
Wendy's.
Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom. It's
Sonic
Boom.
Boom.
Oh,
Is
yes.
the one they're gonna base
Where
it
he's
off.
like, he'll just be like this.
Yeah, see, like, which is what he's been like since again 1999 or
What if he
1990
goes,
or something.
I'm a psycho. People have been pulling. He did a cover of I Am the Walrus
Oh
by
yeah.
I'm the
the
Eggman.
Beatles, and so they
Cuckoo's
keep
Kill.
taking that clip, and they're like, he predicted it back in the 90s.
The 90s, man.
He is the Eggman, or perhaps negotiations currently.
Yeah, I like how this is being reported. This is being reported on. It's like not even. This movie is up in the air. I don't know if this movie's actually like.
Who would you like to see as your Eggman?
Is my Eggman?
Dan
Yeah,
DeVito.
who is your Eggman?
Dan
An
DeVito.
actual
Dan
egg.
DeVito. So egg.
Yeah. Egg.
Egg.
That's it.
Dan DeVito. So yeah, if you want to actually talk about real woke kings, actual for real woke, Danny DeVito. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. I don't know who.
I already said mine.
I would go with like Michael Fassbender.
Can you
Just like a
explain-
really intense like Eggman, just like treating it like the most serious role of his life.
No, for that you want someone like
He's already been Assassin's
Daniel
Creed.
Day Lewis. I want
But
Daniel
Daniel
Day
Day
Lewis.
Lewis is retired. He's not making movies anymore.
He'll
He's
come
done.
out of retirement for this. When he
Oh,
hears,
this is the role he'd come out of retirement for.
when he
The role of
hears
Eggman.
someone sent in the scripts, and he's like, "Oh my,
When I saw this, I had to play
this
it.
this is the role of a lifetime."
I take your emerald.
Do you mean the Chaos Emerald?
Did you think your little song and dance could take the Chaos Emerald?
You're a hedgehog in a basket.
I'm talking a basket.
I've abandoned my hedgehog. I've abandoned my hedgehog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well that's
Never mind.
We've booked it. Jim Carrey, you're out.
Somebody
I'm sorry.
get
Sorry. Can't call
somebody
Daniel
get
Lewis.
DDL on the phone
DDL.
on the horn.
If DDL can't do it, then I want JGL to do it.
Yes.
The-
And so
the-
he can then say, "Let's crowdsource the movie. Let's have people, everybody, make assets for the movie. Somebody make music for the movie and send
we
it
got
in to
$20,000
the
to
winner.
give away.
It's fine. Hit record.
hit record."
JGL can play the young hip Eggman, like the young hip Lex Luthor, going for the
yes.
modern take.
Jesse
Eggman is
Jesse Eisenberg.
Eggman is a modern conglomerate like
We've
tech
already
startup.
seen him with his head shaved, just Jesse.
Yeah.
Put a mustache on Jesse Eisenberg. And it'd be like, "I'm gonna get you, Sonic. I'm over here. You won't get out of this contraption that I've created."
Get a load of this. Then he'll
my
say
God.
that. I need to look up Jesse Eisenberg now, and create a Photoshop for the image for today's.
Put the glasses on him and the mustache.
Yep. I've got
There's
it.
like a
I've got
great
it.
publicity shot of him as Lex Luthor with the fucking head shaved. Just slap it on there.
Man.
Boy.
I saw. Did I tell you I saw a movie? The movie's bad.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe
That
it.
movie
I
has a
no
bad movie.
Hold
way.
on, everyone.
Quiet down.
Somebody
Why did
tweet
why did
this.
he get his head shaved again?
'Cause he went to
It's like,
jail.
I know.
He
In,
went to
I know in the
jail.
other movie.
Because
he
in
did
jail,
get-
you get your head shaved. Don't you know, Matt?
I
That's
guess.
just a common thing that happens. You get your one
I-
phone call and you get your head shaved.
Head shaved.
Jolly Rancher, cherry. Fucking idiot. No, honestly, he was
Hey,
the
that
most
was- that was-
entertaining.
that was-
He was
that
the
was
most
the-
entertaining part of that movie.
He was.
And let's be honest, that was the director, not the. That was the direction, not the.
Talking about Zack Snyder can do no wrong. If we saw his actual cut of the movie, it'd be good.
Zack Snyder's gonna make Atlas Shrugged.
I saw
his
the
next
director's
big
cut.
film.
Of Justice League.
Oh, I haven't reached that one. Oh, they didn't release the Justice League director's cut?
Yeah,
I think they have now.
I
right,
think they
at this
did
point?
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
guess I'll have to watch
people
it.
are trying to. It's funny, like they announced the whole thing.
Why would
about-
you have to watch it? No, you don't. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
You don't.
I'm
No, you
curious about
don't.
Justice
No, you
League,
don't.
frankly.
You don't have to watch it.
You don't
It's
have to,
okay.
but I
Ethan.
want
I don't
to.
have to.
You
I don't have to do a lot of things.
You can want to do it. That's totally fine, but you don't have to. There needs to be this mentality that we have to see every superhero movie that comes out because we just have to. Like,
I
then
mean,
why?
sure.
You guys,
I'm into superheroes.
Yeah, man.
part
I wanna
of the
know.
problem.
I'm curious.
I want to know.
Part of the problem.
Can you show me?
I mean,
why
after the
this
fact, it's fine, I
movie
guess.
Is
Not-
so trash. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay him real money. Anyway, let's talk about.
Just that fake money, just that monopoly
that
money.
fake
I'm
money,
gonna I'm gonna knock on.
Ethan has his ways. Probably has like some Google account where he takes
knock on Zack-
surveys
knock-
where he
knock
fucking
knock
has
on,
money
knock on Zack
hidden away,
Snyder's
squirreled
store
away.
and throw monopoly money in his face and be like, "Ha ha!" and then steal the
Still,
real.
I paid you $200 for passing go and then run away. All right. That's all
Yeah,
for the news, I think.
That's
right?
all for the news.
Okay.
That's all. That's it. We're done with the news, which means it's time for our new clean-shaven trailer trash.
Taylor Dread, dang old, didn't that pitbull get her done?
Pitbull is in the studio
Dolly.
waiting.
The Princess Guide and the one peanut.
Princess Guy.
What was that
Oh.
that I just heard?
That was a reference.
So this is a story for lovely
About a girl.
ladies.
Yeah, okay.
Each
I was
had
gonna say
a
this is a story
different
about a girl.
nation of their own, and they needed a man to tell them what to do, and that man is you.
Me?
That's actually the weird vibe I'm getting from this game. Is it's like there's
Yeah.
these four princesses. Somehow they can't get their shit together, so you gotta fucking tell them what the fuck to do.
You can command their armies, and this game looks kind of bleh. It looks like
What?
It looks kind of blah.
No,
Like
no.
the-
Commence
Yeah, it doesn't look like
the Princess Knight.
Yeah, this is also.
But there is this one lady who has a Gatling gun, which I'm
with a
pretty
bayonet
into,
on the front,
and a bayonet on
which
the
is
front.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
All the waifus, all the different
I mean,
waifus.
let's be honest, this game is just waifus. You know, man, it's just a bunch of waifus.
waifus only.
Also, it's already been announced and it's coming out early 2019, as if there needs to be a build up to this thing.
You gotta
Also,
get hyped for it. Yeah,
Ethan,
I know. Sorry,
what are you doing?
I'm screwing
You gotta
up.
start that marketing campaign. I got this great image that's almost like the Jesse Eisenberg image. It's pretty much like right there. Like
Oh. Where is it at?
I posted it in the Discord.
Oh, I can't see a Discord because I have to stream the thing.
Oh, whatever.
I see.
Yeah, this game looks fine. I don't think I like the art. I liked all the art style until the gameplay started.
Until it
and I was like,
started.
oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like there's certain aspects of this game that seem like they're intriguing, but then others that are like,
I'm like, oh, this looks kind of not great. Like it just looks.
Yeah.
I've seen there is like a $60 version of this game too, so I'm like,
Jeez, why did you pay $60?
I don't know.
Look, man, people need to get their waifus on. And, I ain't judging, but
Yes. I mean, it's Anime Expo time.
it's Anime Expo. The waifus are out.
The waifus are out.
The waifus.
Come out and play.
Waifus come out to play. That's probably not picking up on.
No,
them.
it's not picking up. But that bang on that beer bottle was pretty much like the Warriors from
Yes.
what I've seen.
It wasn't
It's
us.
exactly the same.
It was the waifus. They started the whole thing. Warriors is a good movie. Have you seen the Warriors?
I've not seen the Warriors.
Let's move on to the next trailer.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway,
This is SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. What's your favorite SNK game?
I don't think I know of a single SNK, but Metal Slug, 'cause I'm basic.
Metal
boy.
Slug.
King of Fighters. It's not my
Bust a
favorite, but-
move. None of
Bust
that's
a
on
move.
here. This is all like early, quote unquote early
Yeah, this is their, like this
SNK
is their earliest stuff.
So the only noticeable game on here for me it is Ikari Warriors, and every other game I'm just like I don't know what any of these other games are.
Yeah, it's like either not known or not actually like. These are like early arcade games to the point where they probably like aren't very fun to play for longer than about a couple minutes.
Yeah, like after playing
know
a
what I
lot of
mean?
those
Like-
Capcom arcade collection games and stuff, like I started realizing I'm like, man, when you actually don't have like that, when you're actually like just sitting down and have a free play on an arcade game, you realize like
How much?
how
is-
not great design they are, like, or how
yeah.
like cheaply designed they are to the point like that they're just trying to kill you very, very
Yeah.
quickly.
Oh yeah.
And there's no actual, real, legitimate way to play a lot of them skillfully. It is just about like pounding quarters in there. That's why like I do appreciate games like Pac-Man that are like relatively fair arcade games, you know. But even
Yeah.
Pac-Man at a certain stage,
At some
you-
stage,
Yeah,
yeah, it has that FU
yeah.
stage, but at least like the beginning is like pretty fair, you know.
but like beat 'em ups, forget it. Like
Oh,
beat 'em
yeah.
ups are just
Unless it's that Alien game,
Insanity.
you guys got really far on that Alien versus Predator game.
I wasn't playing. It was Alvin and
Oh, yeah.
Ray, I believe, were playing. Was
They got
playing
really far
Alien
on
versus.
that
They
game.
got pretty far on like on a single quarter's like worth of life.
Yeah, it's rare that happens.
Some of
though.
the Capcom ones past like Final Fight were decent. Like that, they had that Dungeons and Dragons game, which was actually supposedly
Then you
pretty
have
good.
NBA Jam, which is just like, hey, do you want to play? You better put.
You want
up
to play
some
the second half?
Better put some quarters in.
I can't believe the second half is that's so bad. Is
So
that
bad.
one?
That game's great though, so I put money in. It's unfortunate, but
That's fair.
that's where I'm at. All right, the next one we have is Pocket Rumble, which looks pretty flippin' hype. Not gonna lie, it looks. Its graphics are like a Game Boy game, Game Boy Advance game, maybe.
No, I think I swear I think this is supposed to emulate a Neo Geo Pocket color.
That seems more
That
accurate.
seems right, yeah, all
I said
right.
Game Boy because that was my favorite reference, but
I
that-
think regardless, the number of like frames of animation and stuff is still not accurate
yeah.
to any of that stuff.
Oh
'Cause this
yeah, no,
actually-
it's not. It's evoking the style, not
definitely.
not a one-to-one of the.
It looks like a neat little fighting game. It's out. Out on Switch, or is it coming out?
It's
on
out on
Switch?
Switch.
It's out on Switch. Yeah, it's got looks like 8 characters. It looks really cool.
It's also really inexpensive too. It's like $10, I think, to buy.
It's
it
$10.
looks,
Yeah.
It looks like a pretty hype little game, and the combos are like really easy. It's just very simple.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some side action of that game at Evo, if it indeed plays as well as it looks like it plays.
It does look like it
Yeah.
plays pretty dang well. Yeah, I'm really into it. I might actually pick this game up because it looks like a
It's cool.
pretty cool fire. Also, be fun to play at Evo.
That could be fun. Yeah, definitely.
Many
Yeah,
games
that's the
have them
thing. This will be the first. Maybe not. I was gonna say this will be the first Evo where Switch is really, really prevalent. I feel like, although I guess last Evo it was pretty
Some,
prevalent.
but it wasn't as like.
Yeah, but
Definitely
there wasn't
not.
any, there wasn't really any Switch games. They've cut Pokemon
Yeah.
out now, right? Pokemon's gone now,
Pokemon's
right?
gone.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying
That was
like.
Wii U,
I'm just
but-
saying, like, in terms of, like, I wouldn't be surprised on the show floor to see a decent number of Switches out or whatever.
Doing some pickup games, something like that.
Yeah, especially
Especially because the
because
Switch is very easy to like attach controllers to. Apparently,
is the new I can't remember if DBFZ is out on Switch
I
yet.
think so, but it's definitely announced.
Interesting. Yeah, this looks really cool. This looks really neat.
Yeah.
That's
I will not play it because it's still too much of a
about
fighting
all I
game.
gotta
but-
say.
Well,
What
speaking
else
of a
is
game that's very derivative of other games,
Oh, yes.
So,
It's-
do you want to fly planes?
I do.
do you want to build a snowman?
Oh, I just realized there was a shark jump out.
Yeah, this is
Star
called.
Hang
This is a
Glide.
game called Pilot Sports, which is very similar to a game called Pilot Wings.
Yeah, In
Yeah.
fact, one might say
you might say it's
actionably
almost exactly
similar.
nah.
Well, there's not 100%. There's no hang gliders and there's no.
They're
It's
just
not-
literally showed a hang glider.
That wasn't a hang glider. It was a parachute, wasn't it?
No, there was a hang glider right
No,
before
it was a
that.
hang glider.
Okay, my
yeah.
bad. There's no.
There's no Birdman suit,
Yeah, there's no Birdman suit.
as far as we can tell. See, there's a hang
Oh,
glider.
you're right. There's a hang glider.
As far
My
as you
bad.
can tell from this trailer, who knows though? If you get the full game, there's birds.
Are birds
Just grab one and fuse it into you.
become a bird, man?
Become a Birdman.
That'd be pretty funny. I mean, this looks like a straight up Pilot Wings game. A little bit more like the old N64 Pilot Wings than I would say
Definitely.
like
Right.
the newer ones
Then,
that
like,
came out.
Pilot Wings 3DS,
Yeah.
or whatever that one. Pilot Wings Resort, is that what it's called?
I think so. That was like
Well,
one of the
no, it
first
was on
3DS
Woohoo
games.
Island, so I know. That's
Yeah,
all
it was. I think it was just Pilot Wings 3DS
Mm.
or Pilot Wings Adventure. But this isn't very similar to that. The jetpack in this looks exactly like jetpack. Like even the visual of that jetpack looks like it looks very similar.
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
like the little thrusting throttling you do. I'm like, yeah, this game. I
Yeah.
don't know, it looks kind of fun.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I just feel like nothing. It's not doing anything new.
Yeah. Speaking of old new games, what if they were literally?
What if we just kept playing the same trailer?
What if we just
What
kept
if we kept playing the same games over and over again?
in higher definition?
But this is Red Faction Guerrilla, man.
I feel like the only good Red Faction game.
Just a
See, a lot of people liked the Red Faction 1 and 2, and in fact, those have already gotten re-releases on PS4. But this is definitely the one I think that had more mainstream appeal, because it was like a big
Sure.
third-person open world game that also happened to have this crazy destructible environments angle on it, and I just loved it. I really loved this game on the 360.
Only played the multiplayer where
I played the multiplayer a couple times. Yeah.
I only played the multiplayer where you'd have to try to destroy as many things as
Yes,
you can
to
with
get
the one
like
weapon.
the best destruction.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
frustrating. That was super fun.
That was pretty fun. That was like a pass and play mode.
Yeah, that's what made it so fun is that anyone can kind of get in and play.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And yeah, so this looks like, I mean, it looks like a better version. The thing is, like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, this looks like just how it did when I played it.
That's the thing is like now that it's that kind of destruction and stuff has been done in a lot of games as like not the main feature. Since then, it's a little less impressive watching this trailer, but it still is such a satisfying game. Specifically, and because they don't show it in this trailer, it's just your starting weapon, that big sledgehammer that you have. You can just bash through walls with it, and the part of the coolest thing is actually, besides sticky bombs, is just literally just taking out a side of the house with like a couple swings of your sledgehammer and watching it go. But see, but it doesn't crumble
doesn't
and
crumble.
fall like that.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know?
It's the physics is what makes it fun.
I
Even
do
though the
like
physics would be
Fortnite.
janky sometimes, it was still like, the idea was so fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like this game. I'm tempted to play it again. I don't. How much is the remastered?
I do
Version.
not know off the top of my head.
Because tempted to play it again because I really liked it. It's one of the few open world games that is not a Rockstar game that I've beaten. Because like I tend to fall off of those at some point, but yeah,
$30.
Yeah.
$30.
Yep.
I just feel like that's not quite.
Not bad.
It's not terrible considering. I
Yeah,
mean, it
I'm
looks
just
like
not.
it's.
I just have
it looks
I just
more
have
like
no
an up-res.
affection for this.
It looks more
Yeah, I
like
have
an
no
up-res to me.
affection. I have no affection for this game specifically. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that the physics stuff looks really cool. I just feel like every time I ever hear anyone talk about this game, it's just the physics were great, and then like no one can ever remember anything
Oh,
else.
the story is
is-
really boilerplate. I remember your main character.
the
is
environment looks
voiced-
really boring.
you're-
To be honest, it looks brown and boring,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
Your-
Mars. I know, I get it. It's Mars, but like, it doesn't.
Your main character
It-
is voiced by Troy Baker.
Oh, okay.
I've never played a game
okay.
like that.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, and it
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
does drag. It definitely does drag in the third act. When your guy feels a little bit more fragile, like enemies are doing a little bit more damage and stuff. It starts to become a little less fun when it feels like you have to play tighter and more and less like, just playing around, goofing off with the physics and like, doing stuff like strapping a bunch of sticky bombs to like the big Jeep that you're driving it into a building and jumping out at the last minute and then blowing up the Jeep and then having it all explode. Goofy stuff like that, coming up with stupid schemes like that.
That always seemed like the fun part, with just goofing off in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the destruction pass and play was super fun.
Also, a weird connections in here to the Saints Row universe. Also,
really?
Yeah, because I think it was originally
Volition.
Volition. Yeah, it's Volition. So, yeah, so they put in
realize.
some weird nods to the and references to corporations in the Saints Row universe. So,
Oh, that's funny.
all
right, we got-
tempted, but also the PSN is having a big sale right now, and like Neo's on sale and a couple other stuff, and I'm just like, ugh. But
Yeah, those look pretty good.
this game, Frost, I don't know what to think about what this game even is.
I really like the music. I really like the art style. I look at the gameplay though, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. It's tough to sell me on a card type game.
It's just so short. It's hard to see what's actually happening in the game.
Yeah.
Like the trailer's like 30 seconds long, and then like it's kind of hard to see what you're actually doing. Like you're playing cards, and
That's the
This
thing.
one-
It's
life
like
points, then it's over. The trailer's over.
Yeah,
before
it's
you
You know
see,
what
like,
this is Frostpunk Light. That's why it's just called Frost. It's
This
like a
is
survival
Frost.
type game.
There's no punk in this.
Yeah,
it's
just
very. Yeah, it's very.
well, like again, I think they do a poor job of like showing here's what the gameplay like field looks like, and then actually like conveying what each thing represents, because you just see them playing like what seems to be cards, and you can't really tell what's on each or what each is doing. So it's kind of difficult to tell what this game actually is in the long run.
Yeah, I think I don't have much more to add. Like I think that
Super small, super short.
I like the art style. It looks kind of neat, but I was interested, but I needed kind of a little bit more info before I was really like sold on
It's
it.
a very atmospheric trailer. Good mood, but.
Last on our list is
Fire Pro Wrestling World. So
which has been out for a while. Which is been on
it's
PC
been
for
out
a
on
while.
early access on Steam.
Yeah.
And is now coming to PS4. And the big announcement they did, which this trailer shows part of, is that they got the New Japan Pro Wrestling talent in the game. So Fire Pro is a big game about like being able to customize all your different
dudes.
all the different characters and all. So there's like, Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega, who are featured in the trailer, might have already been fan made and in the game, but now they just completely come with the game, kind of like developed already in house by the Spike Chunsoft crew. And I already have this game pre-ordered. I'm very excited for this game to come out. Not only do I love New Japan, Fire Pro, it's good to have an alternative,
a good wrestling game.
a good wrestling alternative to the WWE series, which has been really bad for a while.
You know, like the same game over and over again with very minor improvements since 2007.
I mean, I
Not
wouldn't
even
mind that if
improvements in some
the
cases.
game initially was good to begin
Yeah.
with, but like it's just not been great for a while. So yeah, Fire Pro. The only Fire Pro game I've actually played was I don't know if it was necessarily the original, but it was definitely just called Fire Pro Wrestling on the Game Boy Advance, and that's a really fun game. That's it. I made a few characters. It's just I'm just not
if you look
super
on
creative.
pixellegends.com, you can find a playthrough of that.
What? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. We did do a very early
Short.
grab bag on that game, and then I believe it froze, and we ended the playthrough. But But yeah, very excited for this game. This is a silly trailer with Kenny Omega playing with his fellow Golden Lovers tag team partner Kota Ibushi on the couch, playing some nice
Cool.
wrestling games.
Wrestling with some pillows.
Getting hit in the mouth by Toru Yano, it looks like, is the guy he's fighting there.
I think that the key thing about this trailer is that
getting his abs shown
getting
off.
his abs
Oh,
shown.
yeah.
Just a little though.
Yeah.
I think the thing about this game is, or this trailer is that it doesn't make it super duper cheesy. Like it could have been really cheesy, but
It's cheesy, but
in a
like
good
so
way, not like
dumb.
cringy.
Yeah.
In a wrestling way. They're like they know it's dumb.
yeah.
Mhm.
I wish I was just
All right,
jacked.
guys.
These guys are so cool.
Which one wins?
I love the Golden Lovers. I have a soft spot for this Fire Pro
I was
Wrestling.
thinking Fire Pro Wrestling was at least the most interesting out of all of these.
Yeah, I don't really have a good
Pocket
count.
Rumble was really cool.
Pocket
I don't know if
Rumble's
that's the game is
cool.
because I'm like, oh, that looks neat, but I don't know if that's like the trailer is particularly good.
I think I would pick Frost because I really have no interest in wrestling, so I'm gonna say that. But if you two both go Fire Pro, then
Fire Pro Wrestling, baby.
Fire Pro Wrestling wins.
Pro Wrestling wins again.
Again.
All right. I think
Alrighty, well that's it. Fire Pro Wrestling is the winner of our Treasure Trash this week, which means this is the end of the stream. So thank you all for watching. If you've been listening to the podcast, thank you for listening. If you catch it live or didn't catch the whole thing or want to listen to this later, we have archives going up on YouTube and Twitch, and the audio version is always available on iTunes. So check us out. Subscribe, and review us on there. We'd appreciate it. PixelLegends.com with one L is the website where you can find all our stuff. We have a Twitter account too, Pixel_Legends. You can check out all of our announcements when we go live and stuff like that on there. Follow us on Twitch, all that kind of stuff. Twitch.tv/PixelLegends.
If you follow us on Twitch, I believe we will rebroadcast Ethan's streams, but you can also go ahead and follow him on Twitch at Ethan_Hawks.
For more Overlord. Every Monday, he said it.
Every Monday, every Overlord.
Including the Monday when we get back from Evo. That is what he usually.
Okay, well, you know.
And
I might put out a Twitter update.
I do have to just end with this amazing art, which if you're watching this on the stream, I'm sorry you won't get to see it, unless Ethan wants to find a way to make it go on the stream. But this is what I've managed to come up with for the title for this week's podcast. If you want to check it out later, you can see it on PixelLegends.com with one L. This week,
sharing that.
we will be sharing it.
For sure.
Oh, he's trying to. Oh, is it gonna work?
For a second, but
Oh, now all your friends list is being shown on live stream.
Oh well.
Bye everybody. See you next week.
Oh, I gotta top it.
Yeah, you gotta do